Hello everybody, my name is Miss Retribution. In today's video I'm going to be telling you some top bans you can use in Ranked. First off, the first ban you want to probably have is Swain because, as I've seen in most Ranked games that I've played, he's a retardedly broken champion. He's got a snare, he's got lifesteal, which is an insane lifesteal, and he has really fast movement speed, which annoys me, because he always gets me, because I'm AD carry, so I can't run away. I can flash, but he'll still end up getting me. Yasuo is another ban. We all know that Yasuo is always going to be broken. Yeah, just like Riven's sword. But his crit is really powerful. I've noticed that recently when I was playing a ranked game with a friend, and we were watching this Yasuo on the enemy team, and we sat there and we were pondering to ourselves. We're like, okay, it's either A, he has the runes for crit, or his crit's just way too good. And as we've seen, it was just, his crit was way too good. He didn't have any runes. He had attack damage runes, but he didn't have any runes for crit. Vayne's another important one that you can ban because obviously if you have tanks, somebody's gonna pick Vayne, and then your tanks are going to basically be shredded to nothing. And then another really good ban is Lee Sin because he's retarded, although in low elo he sucks because nobody knows how to play him unless they've mastered him. But I don't believe in the mastery system. Because like the level 7 mastery of Lee Sin and Bronze really makes me think they just played it really well a few matches and got the S. And then they just said they were a league god, but they're not. Because I have Jinx and she's level 6. And I'm not a Jinx god. I don't make the best of plays with her all the time. Although this season I do have 100% win rate with her. So it kind of speaks for itself there. Darius is always still a good ban because he's retarded with his ult and his lifesteal and his pool. He just has a lot of good damage on him. Just exactly like Zyra, because she got a buff. I was playing Zyra last night and I was terrified. I was like, oh my god, this damage, no wonder people pick Zyra. So yeah, she's another good ban that you should use. More so if you're going bot lane or you fear that the mid laner is going to be a Zyra. Also, speaking of mid lane and support, you can ban Lux because Lux is still broken. She has a high win rate. Just like Lucian has a high win rate, so you should probably ban him unless you're going to play him. Same goes with Raven, but you don't really have to worry about that in Bronze because people in Bronze really aren't the greatest. Same with Silver. There's Gold and higher, I guess it gets a little better until you hit Master or Challenger, or Diamond and Platinum. That's really great because I've heard people say that Gold's not the greatest spot anyhow. It's still considered to be like Bronze. So I don't know, but I just consider Silver and Bronze to be the same elo. Although there is a little bit of difference there. One of my favorite bans recently was Brand. Because Brand, even if he's like a support, he can carry really hard. Especially since he has a stun and he does fire damage, so obviously when he does fire damage, it's going to stay on you and it's going to kill you. Especially if he has Ignite, you're screwed. So you should ban him. And you can always counter pick bans, but it's not always going to work out in that person's favor. Say like Fiora versus a Aatrox. Obviously, I think I won that. I was supposed to win that off the bat. But Fiora has a lot of damage. I've noticed she does a lot of insane damage recently too. She's got a buff as well. She has a high win rate. Aurelias have some difficulty, but they're better late game. Diana is another good one you possibly could ban because she has a shield and her damage is really insane, exactly like Talon's. They both do insane damage. It just depends on the matchup. If they are being countered, they probably will lose to that counter because they'll probably end up beating you early in the game or later in the game, depending. So if you're playing a Vayne and the enemy team is a Caitlyn, she's obviously going to win early game, so you might want to push and kind of do some damage or just carry off into the late game and not try to die as much to her. Caitlyn was also a good ban too because she does have range and she does have a good amount of damage. She also has a snare, and if you get caught in her snare or her E, she gets to use her special ability, which does extra damage plus crit, so obviously that's something you don't want her to use. And she mainly does AP exactly like Jinx. The only thing that they use that does like damage for Jinx would be her Q, because all her other abilities does use magic damage. As you can see, Sivir can block her zap, her snare, and her ulti, but Sivir cannot block her auto attacks and her rocket from Q. And for, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. Another AD carry that does do AP damage would probably most likely be, yeah, Caitlyn. She does AP damage. That's with her snares. So if you ever have the Death Fire Touch, that does insane damage with that snare. Everything else that she uses attack damage, but if you're really trying to go for AP damage and you want insane damage on your snare, you should probably go with Death Fire Touch. You'll do a lot of damage then. Another great ban, very, very important ban, I cannot stress this enough. This is the most important ban you can ever make in your life. Please ban Zed, please. Because Zed he just does horrible things to squishies. Unless you have a tank on your team and very few squishies, I suggest you ban him. Ban him. Because that is a very important ban. He does a lot of damage, and especially with his special ability, if you're low on health, he will do crit and extra damage to you if he can auto you, which sucks. And especially Katarina too, because she gets resets. I noticed that she gets insane resets, and it's just, I can't even describe it. It just terrifies me sometimes about people who play Katarina, because I remember seeing my top laner getting shredded to pieces, and he was a tank top laner versus a Katarina, and he got destroyed by Katarina. I was sad. So she's a very important ban. Not as much though, because people don't really play her as much. So you should always kind of ban people who are very powerful, and you should always read the patch notes, especially because if you don't read them, you will not know who's buffed and who's very important to ban. You can also go to LOL King, and you can look at all the most recent plays, and you gotta make sure that you specify that's ranked. You can say highest win rate, most played, and then you can see the win rate too. If you pick the most played, you can still see the win rate. It's not as bad though if you see the one that has been most played. The one with the highest win rate might not be as played as much, but it does have a lot of damage, and it helps you ban a lot of champions. That's where I got most of my bans from, is from LOL King. So this has been Miss Retribution, and if you like this video, comment, like, favorite, and subscribe, and comment down below what champions you ban. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.